Hello guys, I want to come to you and talk to you guys about the aftermath of me being engaged. So I want to say that, of course, I told you guys like how unexpected it was when I got engaged and how happy I was and all that stuff. Ever since I've been home, my family has really not been supportive at all. It's been positive and negative, type of energy or just type of comments pretty much about it, and it's been kind of overwhelming. I just turned 22 this October, and we both just turned 22, so I guess a lot of people who live for the world really don't understand, what a like when you're getting married young, like if God intended people to be together, they're young, like especially like me and, DJ's age, then we're meant to be, like it's a different world, you know, being married in the world and being married in Christ. It is way different, like way different, and that's one thing I should have remembered, too, like just taking comments from people who or taking, advice from people who are living for the world and talking to me about my marriage, and those who are living for Christ and like are married too. So it's just way different, I guess like in the world you need your career. I just like messed up the word, but you need your career. You need just all these things, career, your own place, and then cars, and just like I did, like, before living for Christ, I did have, like, this, like, way of how I was going to, like, have, like, it planned out, like, before I got married. That's good. But, like, originally I wanted to get married at, like, 30. Like, I thought I would have, like, got graduated. Not God, but graduated from, university, been in my career, all that stuff, be established and all that stuff. But God, had other plans. So, and I feel like I have outgrown this place too. Um, really don't like it here. um, it's really, I feel like I just can't grow here. I can't. And I would pray to God that, like, God, just help me find a place of my own where I can worship you freely and be myself and be able to breathe and live for you and not live in fear, so much. My family just see me as a child, and it's quite confusing, like very confusing. And I have like the best conversations with people who are older than me and are not related to me too, and I'm just like, I can't even have this own conversation with my own family. But my church has really been very supportive. People have been giving me their advice. It's just like all love, and I'm just really thankful for that. Like, everyone's just really been giving me love and giving me really good advice. And like, we have to remember that, yeah, the world says divorce, but God does not like divorce. And when you're living for God, it's like a whole nother world. Like, of course, our marriage is not going to be perfect or happily ever after, like how the movies make it, because the movie just makes this false reality, because you do have problems, just like you have problems with your family members, with friends, and other people. But I guess people see it as, okay, you're committed to this person, you are forever with this person. But it's a choice you made. It's a choice you made, and it's the choice I made. And I don't know, it's just like, I have women at my church who I can talk to, you know, who are like mother figures to me, and it's just like a blessing. But I wish that I have that in my own life. I wish I had family members, you know, women in my life, like, you know, relatives who are women in my life to, you know, help me and all that and be happy for me, but I don't. And yeah, I felt so silly for taking advice from people who don't live for the world. I mean, don't live for Christ. Let me say that. So, like, people who are not believers in my marriage or in my engagement so young. So I feel like I just feel silly for just taking advice from them, you know, because it's way different, especially if someone has already, you know, had kids with this person, you know, they're married and all that, just did it the backwards way. I prefer marriage than kids, you know, because that's the right way too, you know, in the eyes of the Lord. So it has been quite overwhelming. I haven't really been so happy about my engagement. I do want to do premarital counseling. We just have a lot to discuss too, and I haven't really been planning on how I want my wedding to be. And you know, I want it to be in the spring. I think in the spring, probably spring next year. No, the year after next year. So next year is 2022, so 2023. So that'll be nice. So because we have the funds to really fund it, but we plan on doing like a courthouse wedding first, just something small and simple, and then really planning for an actual wedding itself. So yeah, I don't know, like I've been really like comparing myself to other girls on Instagram and on YouTube, like, oh look, they're my age, they got like married young, and I'm like, oh look, I'm supposed to be happy, and you know, I'm supposed to have like the support of my family, but that's not really the case. It's only negative and not loving. And I have to remember, you know, they don't live for Christ, they don't live for God, they're not believers, and I see why. And you know, don't get me wrong, I love my family, but it's just, I know the truth, and I live for God, and I love God, and I always wanted a healthy relationship, because just growing up, I always just seen like really negative things and just negative toxic relationships, and I just like, that just made me not want to be in a relationship. But I've seen that me and DJ, we can be different because we are living for God and we're living for Christ, and that's just like, I wish I knew that growing up, that you can have a Christ-centered relationship and live for God, and it doesn't have to be abusive, it doesn't have to be toxic, it doesn't have to be degrading, and marriage doesn't have to be scary, it doesn't have to be, oh, they cheated on me and doing this. I mean, which that does happen in marriages, but you know, you have to have self-control, you have to have like respect for yourself and the other person to just like not ever do those things. And I don't know, I just had fear of like growing up of just getting married, and a lot of men in my family was just not the greatest when it came to what a man looks like what a real man looks like. And it's just like, I didn't ever want to be in a relationship, I just wanted to be alone. Like, I remember being get my heart broken when I was like in college, and I was just like, I'm deciding not to ever like date until I'm like 23, and then here comes DJ. But off topic, but it's just, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest when it came to just like seeing what a real man looks like, because like a lot of the men in my family were not so great in calling women out their names and having baby mamas. I'm just like, I don't want to be that. And my mom, she had 3 baby daddies, and I was just like, I don't ever want to be like that, you know. I don't ever want to have like be a baby mama at all, you know, and the father's not around to take care of the child. So that's one thing I refuse to be, you know. So of course I'm not saying I'm better than those who are, you know, because people have different situations, but I just didn't want to be that, and I definitely didn't want to be a teen mom at all. I had to really break that curse, break that chain, you know, because my grandmother, she was a teen mom, my mother was a teen mom, and I said, no, I'm not about to be a teen mom. And growing up in high school, high school, middle school, and elementary school, I was always treated different too. And that was one thing. I was always treated different in my home life and at my school life too. And it's just like, and it really made me isolate myself and really just like want to be alone and not really have friends and all that stuff. And I didn't really have that many friends growing up, really. I mean, I have close friends now that, you know, I really made close friends after I graduated. I'm still friends with, you know, people I went to high school with. Yeah. Surprisingly, but I don't know, I just really didn't have a really good experience in my childhood too. So I don't know, God just helped me realize that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm beautiful. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I live in a broken world, and hurt people hurt people. And yeah, so I don't know. I just pray that I just like, you know, find happiness in my engagement and find joy in this engagement and not be so overwhelmed and stressed and worried about other people's opinions, especially those who are not living for God. So yeah. So that's all I have to say. So take care.